Uh, I think it was something about how can you get Web3 out there, like AI and ML. Look, these things are going to be adopted on their own schedule. Web3 is going to build lots of hopefully useful apps that you couldn't have otherwise. Web3 doesn't have to appeal to everyone. It's trying to appeal mainly to the applications that would otherwise be deplatformed or benefit from decentralization, or creating a frontier where no such frontier currently exists, so you can kind of have innovation. There's no ironclad law of software that all new software movements have to appeal to all people. In fact, you could argue that open source didn't actually transform large chunks of software, and most users never directly interacted with or used open source for quite a long time. But yet, it still had a huge effect in the data center, in the background, in debugging, and building the underpinnings of much of what we see on the web. So I don't think there's any ironclad law that Web3 has to go mainstream. The same way, like I don't think Bitcoin has to go like super mainstream to be valuable. If it just becomes a reserve asset like gold, how many people actually hold gold as a reserve asset? Not a lot. But it doesn't take a lot for people to park their wealth in something like that and use it as a reserve asset for it to be valuable. So the same way, I'm not convinced Web3 necessarily has to go mainstream anytime soon for it to be incredibly valued. If you just have a lot of very smart people tinkering on the edge, building apps, accepting Web3 currencies, and kind of innovating in that whole field and partaking in DeFi or NFTs or anything of that sort, it doesn't have to be mainstream. It can still be incredibly valuable. Because you're dealing with money and memes, it can spread virally and it can build and hold and capture value very, very fast. People have made huge fortunes in crypto without it having even gone mainstream yet. And I think that trend can continue for quite a while. And no, they're not bullshit fortunes. If you're that's your automatic response, then you haven't studied it enough.